There's a moment every man hits where the world just feels heavy and silent. That strange, gut-wrenching shift when a woman suddenly goes quiet. You think it's over. You think she's checked out or finally moved on to someone else. But the cold, hard truth of female psychology is that silence is rarely an absence of thought. It's an overflow of it. When a woman goes silent on you, it's usually because you're living rent-free in her head so vividly that she doesn't know how to put it into words without sounding desperate. Most guys completely misread the room because they're looking for a text, a double tap, or some obvious flex to prove they're on her mind. But that's not how the female emotional system works. A woman often thinks about you most intensely in the spaces between the noise, in the distance, in the late night hours, and in the moments when she's telling herself she's done, but her heart refuses to sign the divorce papers. If you've been sensing her energy even when she's nowhere around, you aren't tripping. She hasn't stopped thinking about you. She's just trying to figure out why she can't shake the blueprint you left on her soul. You see, a woman's mind doesn't get stuck on a man because of his car, his bank account, or some cheap charm. She gets stuck on a feeling, a specific emotional resonance that she can't replicate with anyone else. It's that feeling of being truly seen, even if it was just for a second. If you triggered that emotional blueprint in her, whether you meant to or not, she's going to keep circling back to you in her mind like a song on a loop that she can't turn off. Most men notice actions, but women feel patterns. When her emotional system gets activated by you, she doesn't just express it directly, she leaks it. It shows up in tiny involuntary changes in her behavior, little slips she wishes she could hide, and impulses she doesn't even understand herself. She won't say, "I miss you," and she definitely won't admit she's been staring at your name in her contacts for 20 minutes. But under the surface, there's an emotional earthquake happening. Before we dive deeper into how she hides this obsession, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button. Most guys are out here flying blind, and if you want to stay ahead of the game and actually understand the hidden layers of the female mind, you need to be part of this community. The deepest sign that you're on her mind more than you realize is what psychologists call emotional displacement. This is when she starts acting irritated or cold for no apparent reason. You think you did something wrong, but in reality, she's just mad at herself for caring so much. She's fighting an internal war between her logic and her feelings. Her logic tells her to stay detached, to keep her ego intact, and to stay low-key. But her feelings are screaming your name. So when she interacts with you, she acts guarded or distant because she's terrified that if she lets her guard down for even a second, you'll see exactly how much real estate you've taken up in her head. It's a defense mechanism. She'd rather you think she's bored than let you see she's obsessed. She's scanning every single memory of you for meaning, analyzing the way you looked at her, the tone of your voice when you said her name, and the way you made her feel when nobody else was watching. She's building a library of you in her subconscious, and that library is open 24/7. One of the most undeniable leaks is subconscious mirroring. If she's thinking about you nonstop, she's going to start adopting your slang, your humor, and even your specific patterns of speech. It's an emotional synchronization that happens when her mind naturally aligns with your frequency. You might notice she starts using a phrase you always use or develops a sudden interest in something you're passionate about. It's not manipulation, it's resonance. Her mind is trying to stay close to you even in your absence. She's also probably digital ghosting, watching your stories from a burner account or checking your profile without ever interacting. She doesn't want to give you the satisfaction of a like, but she can't go a day without a vibe check on your life. She's curious about every detail, where you are, who you're with, and whether you look like you're doing fine without her. That curiosity is a powerful indicator of emotional investment. A woman who doesn't care doesn't watch. A woman who is obsessed watches from the shadows. There's also the factor of emotional gravity. This is when her energy naturally pulls back toward you, even after a long period of distance or a massive argument. You'll get that random late-night text that says something totally irrelevant like, "Hey, I saw this and thought of you." That text isn't about the object she saw. It's about the fact that she's been looking for an excuse to reach out for 3 days. She's testing the waters to see if the connection is still alive. She remembers tiny, obscure details that even you forgot you mentioned. The name of your childhood pet, your favorite obscure movie, or that one goal you half-whispered about months ago. This is proof that she wasn't just listening. She was absorbing you. When a woman memorizes the small stuff, it means you've become a permanent fixture in her internal world. She's replaying your old conversations because they still give her a hit of the dopamine she can't find anywhere else. The final and most powerful sign is her reaction to your absence. If she's thinking about you nonstop, your silence will eventually drive her to do something unpredictable. She might suddenly show up where you are, or she might post something on social media specifically designed to get a reaction out of you. It's a bait to see if you're still paying attention. If you sound different or distant, she feels it in her bones. She measures her own value through your responses because you occupy a massive space in her emotional real estate. She's wrestling with a level of vulnerability that most men will never truly understand. She wants you to think she's calm, collected, and untouched, but inside she's anything but. She's hoping you'll see through the mask, but she's also terrified that you will. If she's doing even half of these things, stop guessing. You aren't just on her mind, you are the mind. She's waiting for a sign from you that it's safe to stop fighting her feelings and start leaning in. The question is, are you paying enough attention to see it? Look, the raw truth most guys are too scared to face is that a woman's silence isn't always a sign of peace. It's often a sign of a war raging inside her head. When she reaches this final stage of thinking about you nonstop, she enters what psychologists call cognitive dissonance. Her brain is literally split in two. One half is screaming at her to protect her dignity, delete your number, and move on like you never existed. But the other half, that half is addicted to the emotional chemical hit only you can provide. She's caught in a loop where every song she hears, every scent she catches in the street, and every random person who walks like you triggers a landslide of memories. She isn't just remembering you, she's reliving you. She's rereading texts from 6 months ago, not because she's stuck in the past, but because she's trying to find the exact moment things shifted. She's looking for a reason to hate you so she can finally stop loving you. But the more she looks, the more she gets pulled back into the gravity of what you two had. If you want to know if you're truly the main character in her internal monologue right now, look at her inconsistency. A woman who is over you is consistent. She's cold, she's gone, and she's indifferent. But a woman who is obsessed is a roller coaster. She'll ignore your text for 2 days to prove a point, then check her phone every 5 minutes, hoping you've sent another one. She'll post a fire picture on Instagram, not for her 500 followers, but for the one person she hopes is watching, you. It's a silent, high-stakes game of emotional chicken. She's waiting for you to blink first. She's waiting for you to be the man who breaks the silence because she's already exhausted from carrying the weight of you in her mind 24/7. This level of emotional investment is exhausting, and it's why she might act out, pick a fight, or disappear completely. It's a desperate attempt to regain control over a heart she's already handed to you. Before I reveal the ultimate boom moment that proves she's yours forever, make sure you've hit that subscribe button and turned on notifications. If you're tired of being the guy who gets played and you want to be the guy who understands the game, this is where you need to be. We don't just talk about dating, we deconstruct the hidden architecture of the female psyche so you never have to guess again. The final, most haunting sign that you're on her mind more than you realize is emotional mirroring through distance. When a woman is truly deep in her feelings, she starts to feel your pain, even when you aren't talking. If you're having a bad week, she feels a heaviness she can't explain. If you're moving on, she feels a panic that vibrates in her chest. She's so synchronized with your energy that she can tell when the connection is fraying, and that's when she'll do something crazy or out of character. It's not drama, it's a distress signal. She's terrified of losing the only person who ever made her feel like her soul was unlocked. So if you see her acting erratic, if you see her checking in under the guise of just being friendly, or if you feel that heavy, unspoken tension when you're in the same room, understand this. She hasn't moved an inch. She's right where you left her, replaying every word you ever said, waiting for the one man who actually understands her to step up and lead. Now, real talk. Look at her patterns, not her words. Does her behavior scream that she's done, or does it scream that she's waiting for you to notice her? Drop a 100 in the comments if you felt this energy shift, and share your story. Let's see how many of you are living rent-free in her head right now.